look who's here this morning, bright and early.
Are you on the stream now?
Just opened like 10 seconds ago.
I was trying to get here
Seconds.
before.
Soka, soka. Just 5 seconds ago.
I think I might
Usual.
have go upstairs and carve it.
As you wish, okay.
All right.
Oh, is it? Did I lock the door? I'm not sure. Is it open?
I don't know.
I may have locked it again. I'm not sure.
Oh.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. That's Karen. She's going upstairs here. So she of course, I've asked her, please sit and say hello and do whatever, but she doesn't really seem to be too comfortable with that. So it's okay, no problem. It's her own taste. It's okay. Back to the usual routine here. I haven't been working much on these blocks the last few days. Rachel upstairs is waiting to get started on printing these, the Patreon chibis. Bit of a rushed morning this morning. Oh, it's been a bit of a rushed morning this morning. I also haven't, it's not, the paper's, I remembered before you told me, the paper is not out. Just give me 1 second. Give me a minute, I'll be back in a second. Yeah, upstairs. Back in a minute. I needn't have bothered. There's no yellow dots on the fridge door this morning. None, zero. Suga-san is off on a big dental week. She's having some dental surgery this week. And Eichan and Ishikawa-san are both scheduled for tomorrow. So there's no yellow dots on the freezer. I needn't have gone. Sorry about that. Hide. Okay, back to work. No panic involved. It's just busy, you know. I know last night, it was a busy day. It wasn't a record-breaking day during the normal part of the day. Lots of people in, full parties, good fun, lots of shopping. We get a bunch of new Yoshida prints on the stock. We're displaying those, and lots of people are interested in that. So by 5:30/6 comes along and all the staff goes home. And there's a bunch of customers here at that time, just when the staff was leaving at 5:30. Cameron's gone already, he runs about 5. The rest of the staff around 5:30, they left, and there's the big joke, what time do you close? And I said, well, we officially close at 5:30, but just hang around, no rush, no rush. I got out of here eventually about 8:30 to 9, somewhere around there. And I was just too hungry. I had to speak to the last people. You know, the people are here before they leave. Somebody else comes in. Before they leave, somebody else comes in. It's chain smoking. There's no chance to get out. But I had to. I almost never do this. I had to ask the last people. They were browsing, and I just had to say, "I'm sorry, I've got to go and get some dinner." And whatever. So they left. But anyway, long story short, we had a really good day yesterday, up till 5:30. But between 5:30 and when I got out of here, we doubled it again. It's crazy in our official closing time. The demand for these prints is just now, it's heroes. Heroes, heroes, heroes. And still, bizarrely, there's people coming in here who have never heard of those things. There was one gang last night. We had the door closed yesterday because it was really getting chilly last night, so the door was closed. But even with the door closed, I can hear people outside. It's a pretty thin glass. And I'm sitting here talking to other people, and we can hear a bunch of kids or whatever, they're in their 30s or something. And one of them sees the big poster of the rickshaw cart print out there. And he says, "Oh my God, look at that, look what's that?" And he tells his friend, and they say, "What's that? I don't get it." And somebody gets it, it's Mario, and they talk and chat, and they're all like, "Oh my God, I've never seen something like this before." And someone says, "What do you think? It's stuff like that inside?" So they come in the shop, and they go to the Heroes section where the Heroes prints are, and these guys are just going nuts because they have never seen this before. And I'm like, "Haven't you been on the internet sometime in the last 7 years?" And there's like, "Yeah." But they still haven't seen it. And they buy a bunch. They take them to the register, they look in the back, the price, that's okay, no problem, bang, they buy a bunch. So there's still bajillions of people out there who have not seen our Heroes prints. Just, it's never going to end. This is it for the rest of my life. They're just going to go nuts about this stuff. And after I'm gone, it's just something we've created that is going to be here forever. Oh, you know what that sound is, right? Here he is, coming from the right to the left. What time is it? He's a bit earlier today, so he doesn't come at the same minute every day. Oh no, it's different. I got fooled. Okay, no, it's not him. I thought it was our friend with the double trolleys. Sorry about that, false alarm. It was a horde. Sorry about that. Yesterday there was a bit of a frustrating episode yesterday. The shop was fine, the shop was great, parties were fun, but we got a package in the mail in the morning, and it was one of the blocks for the Hanami Cat series. It's being carved by our young carver in Kobe, Kawasaki-san. She did the key block some time back, and the Hanami Cat's print is a complex one, and it's going to work in stages. All the blocks can't be carved all at the same time. She had to carve the key block first, and then after the key block was ready and those lines are defined, she could begin a second stage key block. There's cherry blossoms which have outlines, but they couldn't be carved until the key block was ready because the key block lines define some of the cherry blossom lines. So anyway, stage one, she carves the key block, it comes back to me, she sits and waits for work, so I have to get it done the same day, turn it around, get the cherry blossom key block ready, send it back to her for carving. And I couldn't at that time even prepare any of the other color blocks because all the color blocks are dependent on one or more of those two key blocks. So yesterday morning it arrived back from her, the cherry line key block, and now she has nothing to do. She's sitting waiting. So I've got to turn this around as fast as possible. Now what I had done a few weeks ago while preparing these things for her, I had done on paper the complete color separation for this print. Figured out what's going to go where, what's going to overlap where. Some of the stuff Jed gave us doesn't work. I had to try and figure out what will probably work. So I worked out a chart on a piece of paper for the complete color separation for the Hanami Cat's print. So yesterday, when I got back from her the second cherry line key block, I try and find my chart so I can get busy and prepare a couple of color blocks to send her right away, and I can't find it. That's my daughter, an email. I know I did it. I took the whole afternoon one day a few weeks ago to do it. It's really complicated. All the dependencies, which block depends on another block, which ones have to be carved first, which areas are going to be on which ones don't work like Jed designed and stuff like that. And I couldn't find it yesterday. And I remembered an episode last week or so when I got frustrated. There was just so much crap on my desk here. Somebody was looking for something, I couldn't find it. So I just took a batch of what I thought were outdated memos and stuff, job lists for what to do today, things like this. I just dumped them in the trash. And clearly in there was also the color separation plan for the Hanami Cats. So it must have gone in the trash a week or so ago. So I had to do it again. And yesterday, in the middle of 4 parties, ton of customers, people doing all kinds of stuff. I had to do it again and do it early enough that I could get the 2 of the color blocks ready, transfer sheets made, yellow designs painted, and get it all off to her before the deadline for the delivery service, which is 5:30 in the afternoon. It's my own stupidity, whatever. So I got it done, but man, it's a rush job, and I don't know rush jobs, you know. So she'll get that this morning, and she'll be able to get going on the color carving. So to ignore this, lots going on, I don't know. Well, people that sort of offer to help us and things, you know, it's an easy thing to Karen. She's here. She's offered to help to do anything, you know. But there's actually a limit to what we can ask her to do. I mean, you know, whatever. Helping with the printing, no. Helping with the carving, no. Helping me do the color separations, that's not something that somebody else can do, you know. These are just jobs that are part of our workflow, and casual visitors. There's just no way they can help us with these things, you know. She's carving this morning, I think, up there. She might be listening now, I don't know. I think she went upstairs to do some carving. Part of the plan was she was going to do some printing. I know she got paper ready yesterday with the day champ. The day champ's not here today to help her find where's the brushes, what's the bearings, what to use, stuff like that. And I'm not sure if I can get up there to do that with her today. It's another full slate of parties today, of course. So if nobody else, Day-chan and Suga-san are not there, she's going to be pretty much lost. So she's probably going to spend time carving, I think. That she can do by herself. Stonestown was there yesterday. Our young carver, a young boy who's working for us as a carver, he delivered the blocks for JJ number 6. So we're getting really ahead of the game now. We just delivered number 4. That went to subscribers. It was mailed a few days ago, April 1st. For the first batch, it was mailed a few days ago. JJ 5 is being printed by the team upstairs. And those are the blocks for JJ 6. And he and I looked at number 7. And we gave him the start on the key block, but we didn't think about the color separation yet. He wanted to have a look together at the color separations, but it's a tough one. It's the one Jed designed of Nakasendo, a town, a view of a town up on one of the post roads in Nagano. And it's, what's the word, a symphony in brown and green, and it's the color palette is awful. It's dun browns and dun greens, and it's going to be difficult to make it attractive. I'm not quite sure what to do. The whole town is painted in a single shade of brown, with it's just half of the buildings are reddish brown and half are dirty brown. And I don't know how to make it more attractive. The composition is okay. The composition is interesting, but the colorization, the coloring is very difficult. So at the moment we just left that for later. We're just going to carve the key and talk to Jed later about maybe a different color scheme. It might work out here. I don't know. We'll see. Interesting composition, very difficult coloring. And there's some very, very delicate stuff on it. Some of the window frames and stuff like this. Some of the old buildings have stuff like grills on the window frames, and the scale is really... Oh, it's my daughter again. Is she trying to get a hold of me? Hang on a sec. Excuse me a sec. My daughter is looking for something, perhaps. So nothing critical. I'll answer later. Anybody recognize the music clip? The music clip that I use for when my daughter calls? One of my daughters? It's the same clip for both of them. Those 2 emails are from my 2 daughters. You guys are all too young for that music clip, maybe. Am I that old already? One of the emails from my daughters, I wrote back and forth with this morning, a chain of emails, and she had emailed me during the night. She's on Instagram, and Instagram's a big deal for her business, her wedding business. They use Instagram for their own business, and they follow Instagram. It's a fashion deal. They're in the fashion business, so for them Instagram is very, very important. And what she had sent me during the night was in her Instagram feed. I guess not her own Instagram post, but in the feed, the stuff she watches. There came a picture, and she's like stunned. What's going on? It was a picture of me. I guess what had happened is one of the people she follows on Instagram had received a post or something from one of that person's friends. So 3 steps down the chain. And that person had done a print party here yesterday, posted about it on Instagram. And I guess one of her followers had, what do you do? Is it a repost? I don't know what it's called, a share or something like that. And that had ended up going into my own daughter's Instagram feed. So in her Instagram feed, my daughter's Instagram feed yesterday popped up a picture of her dad, because this younger girl had done a print party. I guess my daughter just falls over. What's going on? In this Instagram feed of wedding dress pictures and whatever else it is that they follow and fashion stuff. This young girl had posted, we did this fun thing in Tokyo yesterday or today, or whatever. And it's her dad, you know. So she sent it over to me, you know. How big do you have to get before you show up in your daughter's Instagram feed? You know? I like this nice peaceful start to the day today here. It's going to be another nuts day, so a nice peaceful quiet day here this morning is fine by me. I think that music clip should have been recognizable, you know. The lyrics to it, it's some singing, it's from a band, and the singing are the words, then she appeared. There's no real deep thought going on, just simply it's a clip from a piece of music that I admired quite a lot. Still admire, but when I was younger I admired very much that group, and I don't listen to music specifically anymore, but the specific clip of a few lyrics from one of their songs, and it says, then she appeared. It might have even actually been the name of the song in their album, I don't know. It's from an album back when people made albums. Great stuff, totally great stuff, you know. Back in Omi, I used to crank it up to 11 in a concrete workshop with the bass woofers behind me. Somebody what said the longest project? I guess, of course, biggest project, longest project. It's been answered already, I guess. Of course, the poets. 10 years on the poet series. Instead of 100 prints. So fabulous 10 years of my life, you know, fabulous. There's two ways to look at it now. The prints that I made during that time, they're not really of any interest to anybody now at all. We've got them here in the drawers. We've got a few in the shop, just to have them, just so that there's a few here to show, but nobody's interested in them. They're not that physically attractive. And nobody, you know, wants to buy 100 sheets of paper to put on the shelf and never look at again. So the things themselves, the product that I made, it's funny, it's really of no interest to society. It sold well during the years I was making it, because what was interesting to people was not so much the collecting of 100 pieces of paper that would sit on their shelves, but that of helping this guy get through the process of making them. It's a bit paradoxical. In a sense, it sounds like I completely wasted my time. I made 10,000 sheets of paper. She sounds okay, that one, you know. That was nice footsteps. Confident, not assertive too much, not scary. Confident. She's someone I could get to like, I think. A regular shoe lady is just too scary. How about this one? Quiet confidence. Maybe somebody should build a new dating app. You don't put your picture in. You upload it. Just let it go. Kind of punch drunk this morning, I think. I don't know. Oh, I'm not catching this all, sorry. Oh, there are a bunch of new people visiting. You were here? Whole bunch of new people visiting, I see. Hi. What can I say? You start one thought and it streams to something else. Sorry. So the poet series. Hi. Yeah, what I was saying was the having the pieces of paper was not as important or as interesting as making them. And the people who bought them during those years, their motivations varied. And some of them, you know, were really fans of the poetry. To take a sort of extreme example, at one of the exhibitions one year, I had a bunch of the prints on the wall. It might have been at the final exhibition where all the 100 prints are on the wall. I don't remember. And we had, low benches so that people could sit on the benches and just sit on them and you know, geek out at the prints, you know, because there's 100 prints. It takes, you know, time to look at them. So you've got these low benches. And at one point during one of the exhibitions, whether it was the last exhibition, whatever, there's a lady sitting there, and she's looking at the prints and sitting there. And I sit down beside her. It's a bit of a quiet moment of the exhibition or something. And I sit down beside her, and I see, I say hello or whatever. I see, and she's sort of crying. There's tears in her eyes. And I'm quiet for a minute, respectful, and then, you know, I ask her, you know, are you okay with her? And this woman, like, she's 80 or 90 or something. She was way older than me, my mother's age or something. And she's sitting there gently crying, not sobbing, just gently, tears coming out of her eyes. And I ask her, and she says, and she remembers, she tells me a story about when she was a little girl. And this would be 90 years ago or something. And she was a little girl, and she remembers her grandmother sitting with her with this poetry, reading the poems or telling her the poems and chatting with her about what they mean, whatever. So for this woman sitting beside me looking at these poems, it reminded her of a time nearly a freaking century ago where she spent quality time with her grandmother, and she's sitting here gently crying, remembering this. And I had made these things as woodblock prints and as a challenge, and let me do something big and make 100 prints and learn what I can about the poetry and learn about carving and printing. And I'm thinking about me, let's do this, you know. And you don't realize sometimes that some of the stuff you do has impacts on people far, far, far beyond what you even think about or dream about or whatever. This was happening, this is at the exhibition, so this is like 1990 or something. This is now, I don't know, that's now 25 years ago or something. So that woman, I presume, has now passed on and whatever. But the thing I did affected her. So whatever, the point of the story is the thing that I did, making all those pieces of paper, 100 prints, basically 100 copies of each. Later on I did another reprinting, so there's a couple 100 copies of each of those prints in existence. So whatever it is, 20,000 pieces of paper, 10 years of my life, 20,000 pieces of paper. And the important thing isn't the existence of those 20,000 pieces of paper. The important thing is the process of making them, the things I learned when I was doing them, the things that people thought when they saw them. That was the meaning of it, you know. And whatever, people bought the prints, they transferred money to me, I bought rice, I ate it, I survived, brought up my kids, etc., etc. You know, life. It was all part and parcel of life for a group of people, me and a group of people who supported me. But did it mean anything? Was it a useful way to spend 10 years? You know, I'm going to be given, maybe I'll have 100 years, maybe I'll have 70, whatever it is I end up with on this planet. I used 10 years of them in making that bunch of pieces of paper. Yeah, I guess it was okay. It was something worth doing, I guess. At the end of the day, at the end of my life, who knows? How do you value these things? I'm very glad I did it. Very, very, very glad I did it. Oh, is it that time already? Wow, look at that. Morning, sir. Nice day to show.
Yeah,
A little on the
beautiful.
chilly side. I wasn't sure if I should open the window. At first I didn't, but
It's not as cold as the last few days, though. It's warming up.
it was chilly this morning. I was almost going to keep the door closed. I thought, God, it's freezing outside. But after opening the door, it's okay.
Yeah. As the sun gets higher, I think.
Yeah, it has
it'll
something
be
to do with it,
nice.
doesn't
Yeah.
it? So thanks for reminding me about that.
Yep.
Sorry about that. It's a bit of a quiet stream this morning. I am beat, and I'm just whatever. So
It was a long day for you yesterday. Lots of parties.
you don't even know the half of it. I mean,
How
literally,
late were you open?
grab the iPad and bring it over here. Literally, when I said that, actually, you don't even know the half of it. That's literally. You left here at what, 5 o'clock or so, and by then it wasn't a record-breaking day, but it was a good, full, big, rich day.
Reports? Or
No transactions.
Okay.
And look, I mean, scroll down, and at some point you get to 5 o'clock, right? And look at the numbers. It was like, wow. So this is it. This is springtime. The last person for the first time ever, I had to ask people to leave. I was so hungry. I had to ask people to leave.
I'm not surprised.
I've never done that before. You wait quietly. I would never ask somebody, please, I'm trying to close now. Would you please leave? I'd never, ever done that until last night.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't ending. People would be here, and just when they're sort of getting ready, the goodness.
Someone else
I'll get my
comes in.
dinner. Another 6, 7, 8 people crowd in, and 6 of them
man.
leave it too. It's great. It's so much fun. I'm not complaining. It was tough. But look at also the average transaction in that last group. You just let me read over Cameron's shoulder. Scroll that down. That transaction.
I'm actually on yesterday again, so let me go back to today.
Transactions.
Oh yeah, April. Okay, sorry, you're right. Transactions.
Is that yesterday? So the final one. No, that's 4:30.
Yesterday, April. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There.
So the final one was 16,000 something. The one before that 27,000. The one before that 55,000. The one before that 27,000. The one before that 10,000. The one before that 12,000. And this is all after we're closed.
Yes, this is all after you're closed. Oh my goodness.
And it's heroes. Shinhanga.
Yeah.
It's great. It sounds like I'm complaining. I'm sorry. I'm a little beat up, but I'm really, really happy. People are loving our work.
I'm seeing
People are loving our work. It's
flea market
fabulous.
prints.
Yeah, no, it's a good variety. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's this one of them too, and there's this section. We got this section called David's Choice. It's the old blocks from when I made my Surimono albums. And some woman was digging through this, and she turns to me and says, "Who's this David?" She says, "I like this stuff." And I said, "Well, actually, it's me," And then she starts chatting about why is it called David's Choice and this and that and this.
Are
And
any of your videos about the David's Choice?
I don't think so. They're just sort of things we throw in there. The blocks that I carved. These guys are chatting. I'm sorry. I know. I forgot the paper this morning. I was late
paper?
getting the paper out of the freezer.
Oh, okay.
I forgot it, and I sort of remembered by myself. Just at the same time, somebody reminded me.
Yeah.
I go running upstairs, and for the first time in living memory, there's no yellow dots on the fridge.
No one's coming?
No, Sugi-san's off for the dental
right.
surgery. Dei-chan's never here on Thursdays. Actually, she goes to Asuka Sensei's place on
Okay.
Thursday. So, and then Ishikawa-san, she wrote an email. She was going to come yesterday. She wrote an email saying, "Tsutte kaze ita desu ga."
Yeah, so she's sick.
So Kawai-san's off sick, Ishikawa-san's off sick, Sugi-san's off for surgery. All of a sudden, oh my God, what's happening?
We have no printers.
So I know
We're
Karen's
shutting down.
Karen's up. She was going to be printing today with Dei-chan, but she doesn't know what to do, so she's just going to sit and carve and something.
Okay.
I know, whatever. Sorry, I've missed. If I've
Everything.
missed questions, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. So
I'll read back while you're carving and stuff.
Yeah,
Try
whatever.
to catch up if there's stuff they want to know about. Okay. Go. Good morning.
actually, I just at that last moment when you came in, I think I've finished this block, so I've got to start another one. It's okay. We've got lots to do here. I think I finished 3 of them now. There's 3 still to go.
Cameron, did something happen? You look cuter today.
Oh, here they go. Here they go. So it's not just about my hair. Great. You can live with this, Cameron. It's
All
up to you.
right.
So,
Thanks.
are you stalking him?
Yeah, did I even show up on the camera until just now? I don't know.
Yeah, I think before you move the camera, you sit
yeah.
here, and it's.
That's
I don't
right.
know how it works.
Okay. Let me jump back. The Shoes of Asakusa, an audio novel by David Ball.
Actually, no, I forgot the shoe lady this morning. I probably talked right through when she walked by, or she didn't walk by. I don't know. I wasn't, or maybe that was when I was upstairs getting the paper out. Not
Yeah.
when I was upstairs not getting the paper out.
Yeah.
But then, something interesting happened over the past half hour or so. There's different people have walked by. It's a pretty quiet morning out there.
Yeah.
And and I just, there was a lady who walked by. I thought, yeah, you know, not that I want to hire her. That was the original thing with the shoe lady was, oh my God, here's the woman who's going to put us all on a straight and true path
Yeah.
and can run our business. You know,
Yeah.
I think that was the original thought about our shoe lady. But you know, after I got to meet her, I realized, well, woman, she's terrifying. You know,
Just
sort of thing.
terrifying.
With a couple of the people who've walked by this morning, I felt, yeah, she sounds really nice.
Yeah.
Like, be careful, be quiet.
Yeah.
And you need a dating app, not this thing where people see pictures and swipe left and swipe right,
Yeah.
or whatever. Some kind of dating app where you upload an audio clip of
You walking.
down the street, and people think about your character based on the sound of your. I mean, I'm just making noise here, but
Yeah.
whatever. It's just an interesting
that's
thought,
funny.
you know. 'Cause other than that, I think there may have been interesting conversation there, but I didn't see any. I think that one's done. Let's find another one.
Dave, you need a new piece of felt. Someone
I know.
suggested.
I got to get around to if you want to, whatever.
Where's it come from? No.
I have no idea. What it is okay. You want to just order
Yeah.
on Amazon today for me.
Okay.
What it is, I mean, and any piece of felt. There's no fabric shop around here, but what this is when people do calligraphy, kids do calligraphy as part of their school homework. They
Yeah.
get it's a piece of felt like this that goes on the table first because they're doing something like tatami, remember?
Right,
Tradition. So this piece of felt goes on the tatami. It's about A3 size.
Okay.
Then their calligraphy paper goes on top of it. Then they got a little steel bar that sits at the top. It's
Okay.
a little standard steel bar with a little metal nib to hold
Yeah.
it. And that holds your paper while you do your calligraphy. Next to that, you've got your inkstone and blah, 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 blah. So it was a standard thing. It's just the right thickness and just the right feel.
Huh.
Now, whether this still exists or not, I have no idea. What do you search for?
Calligraphy felt.
I don't know, whatever. It doesn't much matter. But that's where I got it. That's what it is. And it's now obviously past its end of life.
Navy blue. There it is.
Is that it? What's it called? Standard paper size navy blue.
I just typed.
But
Felt
careful, that could be
calligraphy.
stajiki. It could be a hard plastic thing.
Yeah,
What we want
yeah.
is the actual.
One that's
Oh,
felt.
it comes in rolls. Is it 3 meter roll? What is it? Over the right hand side?
Yeah, 2.5 meters.
We
This
don't
one,
need that much.
3 millimeters thick, I think. 1.5
Well, that's
meters long.
3 millimeters. Is it? But is that a soft one? Because it's got to be something
Yeah.
soft.
Yep. Calligraphy placemat. Stroker felt navy. So it's felt. 3 millimeters thick.
A 3 meter long roll. No, what?
No, 3 millimeters thick.
Thick.
Yeah.
So what's the size?
45 centimeters by 150, so meter and a half long.
So we could chop from it. That's enough for me for 10 more lifetimes.
Yes.
How much is it?
Wow. 4,700 yen. There's some smaller ones for under 2,000, but I'll look around.
Okay.
Yeah. Is felt really this expensive? I'm shocked at some of these prices.
12,000 yen. How big is that one? That's 2.5 meters
Yeah,
long.
that's
So that's for what a calligraphy teacher would buy the roll.
Yeah,
and
buy a
chop
big
it
one
up
and chop it
give
up
it to
or
her
something.
students. So I don't think we need 2.5 meters.
No, I don't think so.
Also remind me too, I'm running out of my fuselage, and I think there's a big.
We
Do
have
you
a
one upstairs?
big
Okay, good.
bottle of
So I
it.
have to refill this or
Yeah.
order a new bottle if there isn't any. But we have some, do we?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think a couple months ago we bought one of those
Good, okay, thank
mega
you.
bottles.
Yeah, if you could remind me or something about this today, I can refill. Mega bottles.
Yeah.
Is that a new word? Mega bottle.
Must be. They are big.
I got an email from my daughter last night, Humi-chan.
Oh.
They use Insta big for their wedding stuff. So
Right.
she's all over Insta all the time.
Yeah.
For her own business and for watching trends and stuff like that.
Did she say, Cameron hasn't posted in a long time?
No. She sent me a screen cap of something that came up in her Instagram feed.
Oh, okay.
You can see it's in the mail part. If you just go up to the mail, window 2. And it's Fumi, then the one above that.
Oh, there we go. Oh, I didn't mean to highlight too. There we go.
Oh no, it's up, yeah, the first one.
Okay. And to make wood block prints.
That came up in her Instagram feed this morning. Picture of her dad's backside while
Yeah.
he's running a print party.
That is really funny.
And she says it's from one of the girls who works here.
Huh.
So I misunderstood. I wrote back to her, one of your employees was here for a print party. You didn't tell me.
Yeah.
He said, no. It's an Instagram feed down 2 chains down the line. So
Yeah.
the girl who came here didn't work for her.
Okay.
But one of the girls who works for her, this girl is in
has a
her,
friend
whatever. So
who
it comes
went.
up the chain. So it came up in Fumi-chan's feed. So, yeah. And she just, it's like she choked on her breakfast. She's sitting there just scrolling her feed, and her dad's picture comes up in there. You know, so.
That is great.
I'm going to make a bang. I'm going to
Okay.
bang. We're going to
Take
make
off your headphones.
Yes, one sharp sound coming up. This is always happens. We have a bang first, and a few minutes later, a peel.
Yeah.
Bangs and peels. That should be the name of our blog or something. Bangs and peels. Okay, counting down. 3, 2, 1. Gotcha. Thank you. Noise over.
Noise over. They want to know where you got this felt. It's just something you bought, right?
No, but I'm not going to talk about it because
Okay.
they misunderstand.
Okay. Then I
I talked about it once some time ago. I just casually mentioned where I got it. And then people have been misunderstanding why I don't throw it away.
Okay.
And it's a bit of they're claiming deeper thoughts than I'm having. So let's let
got
it go.
it. So I just didn't know anything
let
about
it
that.
go, let it go.
Okay. Someone asked, what's the best wood to carve? I think our bot has a command about that.
There's no such thing. But whatever.
Don't know what the best is, but in this tradition, this is what we use. So read
yes,
that.
Yes.
Peel judges, please take your seats.
Now, before I do the pages, when I did the color separations it's weeks ago now, days ago,
Yeah.
I don't know, no idea. We followed John's design. I made some
Yeah.
mistakes, and some of the people on the stream caught my mistakes and things like that. But somebody also mentioned one that looks like it might be a mistake from the designer. Can you find the thing? If you look
Yep.
up Patreon, where it says there.
Oh, yeah,
there.
right there.
Yeah. Now, if you look on the beam that is it a woman? I think it's a woman, right? Anyway, the paper maker, the left hand of the paper maker, the beam that holds the frame,
Yeah.
extended off to the left a little bit, and it seems to intercept that part of the wave thing. It should show
Right here.
in there. I can't
Yeah.
point at this with
Right.
well, I can point at it with here. Am I on camera?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This beam looks like it should appear here because this is water coming up and this is water on the back, front and
Yeah.
back. And I suspect what John did was when he was first drawing it, he moved stuff around. And at some point he moved this down.
Never
so I
extended
think
the beam.
so somebody, I forget who, it might have been the last known god, I think he pointed out that wood should appear here.
Yeah.
So now it turns out that wood is the flesh colored, which is the block we're going to carve now, and this part of the wood is the dark brown. So it needed to be on the blue block, the red block, everything else. But it's not the dark brown part we're concerned about. So I left it off all the other blocks. I did carve this as blue on the blue block.
Okay.
I'm now going to carve it. I'm going to put a line here. So I'm going to carve this as part of this. What's the color of this block we're doing here? Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So at the moment it's going to be on 2 blocks, which is not right. And then we'll make our decision about where to leave it at that
When you
time.
get there, yeah.
So it's a good catch. I think it's a slight, tiny error from John, John Amos, not to blame him, but the way this thing goes.
Yeah.
So we'll put it in this block and make a decision later, just to carve it off here and leave the water as it is, or to carve that blue thing.
Got it.
But there's no line there. That's gone off the key block. So I think if we do put this on the wooden frame, it will look a bit strange. So my guess is we're going to end up leaving this off, and the print will look as pretty much as you see it there.
Yeah.
But we'll see. At the moment, I want to leave my options open. Okay, ready to paste down. You can
It's
pop
much
that in
easier
there.
to chop things off
Yep.
if you don't need them than to put them back in.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you can kill that thing if you want.
Oh, yeah.
I'm waking up. Actually, it's good. I was a bit tired.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And I asked them if anybody can identify that music clip. I didn't see it in there, and it seems that perhaps nobody knows what it is, and I suspect they're all too young.
I don't know it either.
And it's a big name. When I tell everybody, say, "Oh, I know that." Everybody knows the group. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
the Stones or something, but it's a name that everybody knows. But it's not.
One of the most famous songs.
It's not one of the most. It's interesting. It's not a cult band because they made it, but it was always. I don't quite know how to describe it. I don't know. Nobody's got it, so I should be only telling this. Nobody's got
I'm
it.
26. I'm old. Beethoven's Sarah.
Oh, come on! Ow!
Not
Okay,
that
okay,
old.
nobody's got it. That's it. I'll tell you. The band is a group called XTC.
XTC.
Do you know of them? Do you know of them?
I've heard of them, but I don't know
God,
them.
am I that old? Is it that long ago? God. And they're a band that got crippled by two things. They made a bunch of albums.
Huh.
A bunch of fabulous albums.
Yeah.
They got crippled by a few things. One is their name, which was taken to be a reading of ecstasy. So
Yeah.
anybody who thought they were anti-drugs or whatever, including me,
Yeah.
I would never have listened to any of their music just because of the name. You got to be kidding when I said that stuff. Who's
Yeah.
this? You know. And then a friend of mine who knew better, who knew the music, said, "Dave, look past the name for a minute. Here's an album. Listen to this." He gave me a CD. It was
Yeah.
called Mummery, and I realized, holy crap, these people are geniuses, creating really, really super interesting music.
Oh, cool.
And then they were handicapped by a second thing. Their leader, a guy called Andy Partridge, has mental issues.
Okay.
In that part of it was a stage fright. He could not stand up on stage,
And do live
play in
shows.
public, and do live shows. So, and this is the era of, they came out of punk actually, kind of.
Okay.
They're not a punk band, but they got really confused with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they were trying to be angry young men on stage with
Yeah.
guitars and stuff like this, the kind of thing that I despise. Anyway, long story short, whatever, they collapsed. I think at some point he actually had a mental collapse on stage, the concerts canceled, blah, blah, blah. And that's it, they tried to be a studio band. You can get away with being a studio band when you're John Lennon and Paul McCartney after having already had the career and
Yeah.
that, but you can't start. Whatever. I'm sure people can find counterexamples, but anyway, it didn't work.
Didn't work for them.
So they had a chain of albums. What's the word they say? Critically acclaimed albums,
Yeah.
but it never went.
Got it.
And internal stresses, they just, the other guys wanted to perform, they were good at
And
it.
he just couldn't handle it.
He couldn't handle it, so it eventually destroyed him.
Got it. So deep.
And I was going to say it's an acquired taste, and that, that's a pretentious thing to say. Only if you're a smart, intelligent person like me will you really get their music. It's the kind of thing that
Yeah.
they ended up being in. And it was only pretentious assholes, like I've tried to be just now, who got their music carried forward. And there's a limit to how far you can go with that.
Yeah.
Only us real smart clique can get this band.
Yeah.
The rest of you plebes who just want to get drunk and shake your bodies around don't get it.
Got it.
And that's the space they ended up inhabiting.
Yeah.
And that's not viable.
So when were they making?
When is this? That's a good
or
question.
being most
I don't
active
know.
with music?
This is late 70s into early 80s, I
Okay.
guess. I'm not sure.
Okay. It's kind of overlapping with, I'd say, Alan Parsons' Project was another studio band that didn't really do any live performances.
Well, that's a whole different thing. That wasn't a band. I know that's
Yeah.
a trade
project.
name that
Yeah.
an engineer devised for
Yeah.
himself. I mean, they would never pretended to be a band. And it was
Right.
the Alan Parsons Project. So,
Yeah.
so I get that.
Yeah.
There was never any intent to perform.
Yeah, it was
These
all
guys
studio
were-
musicians.
Yeah.
They'd bring people in. Will Dave go for the full page peel?
I don't think we're going to have any problem here. I think. I don't know.
It all
So-
starts with a finger lick. Got commentary, sports commentators.
What did I start with this? What do you want, lift it up, is that the idea?
Yeah.
Are we on
You're
camera?
making a strip across the top. Will it roll though? Oh, here it goes.
Well, you know why I cut the line there? Because it's over the edge. And if I didn't cut that line, the edge
Right.
part doesn't peel, so it tears
it.
and pulls back. So
He's off to a great start. Ta-da! Oh, what a show.
should we do that one of these years? We've missed our April 1st chat. We had
Yeah.
planned for April 1st, didn't we? I forgot what it was. I totally forgot. We had something we were going to do. We did. Remember? We were going to do something on April 1st.
Not really, I don't know.
Oh, you're worse than me.
Yeah.
No, this would be a good do a little quick April 1st video and
Yeah.
do a commentary. And now here we just
Yeah.
what do you think? Do a color man commentary back and forth, whatever. And he's almost at the end. And oops, no, it slips.
Yeah.
And, oh my God, can he recover? And and over in the other lane.
Yeah.
We did. We had a plan for something. I don't think we actually planned on doing it, but we had.
Right.
This would be
We
a cool
talked
thing to
about
do on April 1st or something.
But I don't remember.
I don't
Maybe
remember
it was
what.
just me at the carving desk or something. Just
No, I don't
pretending
know.
to
It was
do the
something
job.
that really, and we said, "Oh man, that's so cool. We should really do that." I remember the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the idea was. And I don't think we had a serious plan to do it.
Right.
But it would have been
Funny idea.
yeah. I can't remember what I had for breakfast. As little, I remember something like that.
9.5 out of 10. What did he mess up?
Oh, I can buy that because there's some white cloudiness here. It didn't
Okay.
actually all peel very well.
Okay.
In fact, I'm going to need to do a bit more finger work on this. So this is not a perfect peel. This is not 10.
Got it.
There's some still, but that's the paper. You saw the part I did in preparation. That's me at work.
Yeah.
That once we get set, if I start the peel, this is now the quality of the gumpy. We've got 3 or 4 different types we're working with, and they come out of the pile randomly. So whatever, I'll take it. This is not a 10. It's okay. I get the job done.
Yep. Got the job done. Why lick your fingers and not just keep a small dish of water? Well, you always have access to licking your fingers. You'd have to go get a dish
This
of
is
water.
funny
and
too,
stuff.
because this was too. There was a comment on one of the older YouTube videos. Maybe it was the 3-hour video that we
Yeah.
did, because partway through I did that, and some person was so grossed out by that.
Grossed
That they said they said I had to get out of it. I cannot stand that. I nearly barfed or whatever the comment they said. And okay, I get that. I mean, we normally don't spit at each other,
Yeah.
human, or what they are, but I don't really find that so gross. Even not if
Yeah.
I was watching somebody do it. Lick your fingers and rub this, and lick your fingers and rub this. I
Yeah.
don't particularly find that offensive.
Yeah, interesting.
So I don't know. I get it. Spit is unpleasant stuff, and we don't want to touch somebody else's spit and things
Yeah.
like that, unless we're like kissing somebody. Wait a minute, how does that work? Whatever. The brain's really.
Or having a 2-year-old kid. Where
Yeah,
it's everywhere.
yeah. So it's really curious. Some things we accept and then don't accept, and then just change the rules mentally inside your mind. If it's male, no. If it's female, go for it.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, no difference. So.
Yeah.
But I didn't. Even what I did today, I don't find that in any way offensive and
Yeah.
disgusting. But
Got it. So yeah, I just wasn't sure if there was an enzyme thing versus just water, or is it just convenience? I think just convenience.
Whatever, a very light dab of liquid that I can control easily. If I'm going to
Yeah.
dip my finger, I had water right here. I put water on with my stuff.
Yeah.
But this is totally controllable. So I'm sorry.
Toddlers are the grossest people. Thanks. It's
Toddlers
wild.
or the level before toddler or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just a tube with things going in one end
and out the other.
and it
quickly.
hasn't yet evolved a sensible digestive system
Yep.
and all the little bacteria that set it up properly.
Yeah.
And you never know what you're going to get at any minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or how explosive it's going. We don't need to go there, right?
Yeah. Messy.
Cameron, there was some news. There
Oh.
was some news I can share. I was going to tell the chat people, but it's related to this. We got the camera.
Right.
So,
I know it arrived.
I said I wasn't going to set it up last
So
night.
of course you did.
So of course I just had a look at it, and it's going back. We're going to send it back today. I'm not going to ask permission to send it back. It's going back.
Why?
Fraud.
Really?
Fraud. it doesn't work. I mean, it doesn't. It works in that you plug it in and there's a signal and it does things. It looks like a video camera. It acts sort of like a video camera. You put the software in.
Yeah.
You go step by step through the instructions and there it is. So after I realized what was happening, I said, did I make a mistake with what I bought? I went back to their webpage with the specification sheet.
Yeah.
And the spec sheet's pretty clear. Here's what you need in terms of computer hardware. And
Yeah.
there's 2 rows. Here's what you, if you have a Windows machine, here's what you need. If you're on a Mac,
yeah.
here's what you need. You need 10.10. You need
Yeah.
a certain level of chip, blah,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. And then there's the specs. It makes 2480 by 12 things at 29 point blah, 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 FPS, blah, blah, blah. And what I hadn't noticed on the FPS, the feet
Yeah.
per second, there was a little star mark.
Yeah.
It's okay, star mark here at the bottom of the spec sheet, and it says, this is the, I'm translating from Japanese here, it says that this is the designed frame rate on some systems with, what's the word, when your system is overloaded or not up to it, you won't quite get the advertised frame rate.
Okay.
So fair enough. And it was
Yeah.
a little tiny star at the bottom of the page. So having gone back, I say, okay, so I'm not going to maybe get 29 FPS at the full 24
Resolution,
something.
yeah.
Shift it to a smaller resolution to get this. I mean, long story short, you see where this is going.
Yeah.
I put it up, I got the thing, it focused, looks good, wow, great. I didn't get 29 FPS.
What did you get?
2. And this is with nothing else running on the machine, not with 6 video cameras running. I got 2. So I go back to the manual, and the very last page of the manual says, "Komatta koto ga aru," you know,
Yeah.
what to do, troubleshooting.
Yeah.
And it says clearly, this model of camera will not get 29 FPS, and this is the situation we're working on. And then it says, if you encounter lower frame rates, try upping the exposure time, or decreasing the exposure time.
Right.
So I go back to the control panel for this thing,
Yeah.
which by the way isn't the Mac, it's not Mac software, it's Windows software. You can see it's got the X bars of all
Yeah.
the boxes. It's been patchily ported to a Mac. And so I try, and I take the slider to move the exposure time.
Yeah.
And it drops from, I think it was 2.6 FPS I was getting. It drops from 2.6 to 1.9. Whoops, wrong way.
direction.
So put it back to where it was. It drops from 1.9 to 1.5. Move it the other way, it now drops to 1.1. Move it back to where it was, it drops to 0.7.
What?
So restart the software, come back, and every time you move the exposure slider,
It gets worse.
it gets worse, no matter what you do with it. It's crap software, it's a dud product, it's fraud.
Yeah.
And back it's going today. 500. But what did we pay for?
Yeah.
Go
around
money,
Gomanen,
so-
I think,
so-
yeah.
So long story short, sorry for the
Wow.
disappointment, gang. We're not going to get a microscope view this week.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And my guess is it probably staggers to life on Windows systems, but they advertise this thing as fully compatible for both. They give clear list of what system you need.
Yeah.
We're well above that.
Man.
My computer, I mean, we're running 3 cameras right now,
Yeah.
and it's at 29 FPS and streaming at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean,
Man. Marumarushi says, I bought a camera a couple weeks ago, and it claims to be 4K, but it was more like 800 by 600 upscaled. Wow. I hope you left a bad review so others don't get duped or did something. Wow. 2 frames per
Yeah,
second.
2 point something. I forget the exact number. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. 2 point. I couldn't get it to go past 2, even if I downscaled and changed it to a smaller resolution or anything. It's just crap software. They don't know what they're doing on a Mac. They should never have made a Mac version.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that it works fine on Windows, but I don't know. I'm not interested in going that route. So. But the whole Mac interface is a Windows interface, just patched.
Yeah.
And it tells me what they've done. Now, the computer itself can't see the video feed through USB.
Huh.
So it's locked. You plug it in through USB, but the computer can't see a video signal, so it goes into their own software. So they've written their own video, and they're probably not even using the display chip here.
Yeah.
They're writing the video
Yeah.
to a window on the screen without using the
Yeah,
display chip.
software powered video instead
so.
of hardware.
I've written for a computer that doesn't
Accelerated.
understand. Yeah.
Oh, man. Whoa! Who are you?
What's this? Whoa! Who's here? Who's here?
How-
Come and say hello.
How are you doing?
Nice to see you
Good.
again, kiddo. How's your school
Hisashiburi.
going? How's life going?
Good.
Good, good. Just good, not great.
Fantastic.
Oh, okay, good. We have a new camera here, and this one's not on. Here, we'll say.
Anybody remember who this is?
Yeah, Hisashi Buri. Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
true.
Go on there.
Hello, Ray. Hi. Excited.
Oh, this is the lady who they named the new era after. So, she's happy about that or not, I don't know.
There you
I wasn't actually expecting to be beginning.
No, none of us were expecting that one. So, none of us. I don't know anybody who guessed that. Yeah, K or A, or something. It's a tough one for foreigners, the spelling and the pronunciation, you know. LR problem, that's just what you need for an era name. It's going to be used globally or not.
Except, I think, except with people who live in Japan, I never have used the term heisei, like with talking to my brothers and sisters, so I don't know how often it'll come up in normal conversation.
Outside, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning.
Hello again, hello again. Have you met Rei-chan? Only online, maybe.
Karen. Ray.
Nice to meet you.
She used to be on our stream a lot, so maybe you saw her months and months ago, but...
I didn't start watching until just a couple of months ago.
What?
Now I'm a regular.
Yeah.
Today is chisel day.
Do you have like lots of carving to do? Because without anybody up there to show you where brushes and pigments and stuff are, printing is going to be a bit of a dead
I
loss,
have
I'm sorry.
cleanup to do, and what I've decided is that the thing that will make me the happiest in the world is to go get some Aitsuki.
Get some,
Aitsuki?
it's a tool buying, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, buying tools makes anybody happy, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean over to Matsumura-san's place?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Fun.
Do you guys need anything?
Well, we don't buy anything from him, actually.
You don't.
So.
Don't tell the stream. Just kidding.
What day? They're open today, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they are. To figure out how to get there.
Yeah. It's a bit of a trek, isn't it?
There's no easy single way, that's right. I know it probably the least number of trains is TX, one station down to the Oedo line. Then over Oedo line to, it's either Higashi Shinjuku or Nishi Shinjuku. Then you've got to go up to the Seibu private railway line, which is a walk of a couple of 100 meters. Whatever, we can.
Google Maps.
Yeah, Google will probably tell me how to do it.
The problem is the train line that's accessible to them is not a subway line and it's not a JR line. It's a private railway, the Seibu Railway. And it goes from Seibu Shinjuku Station, which is not the JR Shinjuku Station. And they're not physically connected. You have to walk outside to get from one to the other.
One of those.
But it's not so bad. Just we can write it down for you. Yeah. If you look for directions from the...
Apparently I can walk there in 4 hours and 20 minutes.
Oh, so there you go.
You better get going.
Yeah.
But wow, it's a long train ride.
Huh?
Google says it's an hour and 4 minutes by train.
Oh.
From here, you mean? Yeah, because it's so many lines to change. So the key by getting to Shinjuku, step one, there's 3 or 4 different ways to do that. But once you're at Shinjuku, their line is the Seibu Shinjuku line, and he's lucky because the station they're at is a station that's all the trains, even the expresses or the medium expresses, or everything stops at their station, which is very convenient. Oh, there is. Karen, the sound. Do you know that sound? Outside.
What is it?
A little photo for today's little blog post might not be a bad idea, you know? You can grab the camera quickly back there.
I actually want to picture this.
What is it? What is it?
We got it all excited.
The door's open. The street people should be able to hear that sound.
Yeah.
What is it?
Any idea? Koringami knows. He already spoiled the surprise.
He's early today. He's really early today, too.
Yeah, it's unusual because often it's during the first sprint party.
The first sprint party, about 10:25 is when he normally comes.
An hour early. Okay, if I go take a couple pictures
I
too.
wish. Daychan could come and sit and watch the stream for a minute.
Yeah, come run the stream for me. Watch out for the peanut butter.
Okay.
So how have things been? Really busy with schoolwork, or?
Yes, actually. But not too busy, but quite a lot of stuff to do, so trying to catch up.
How has it changed though now with the school year? It's April now. Oh, good morning, Hosan-san. This Jen, who's school? So what, you're actually a grade, what,
The last.
third year of high school? So it's your
Yes.
last year of regular
So
school.
I went to school yesterday and had those explanation day, I guess, for the what's going on this year, and I'll have to do extra curriculum for 10 hours before end of December. So I have to do Aiken and the Kanken this time.
Wait. You said extracurricular for 10 hours before December. That doesn't sound like much to do, would it?
I mean, I have to take at least 10 hours of something, like extra activity I have to do for 10 hours. And then Aiken and Kanken are counted as 2 hours.
Uh-huh.
So I have to do a bit of many
10
things.
hours a week or 10 hours
No,
altogether?
Altogether.
Okay.
And
That
then,
sounds like no big deal though.
yeah, but it used to be like 10 hours a year, 4 year, like I have to take throughout a year, but this time like in 12 months. And then those events are not really, the school organize those events basically. And then those events doesn't happen often. So I have to find the bits I can take and I can't go.
10 hours between now and December sounds like nothing. I mean,
So, but I have to prepare for exam, and then I have my own studying to do. I have to study, like, really get ready for university.
but is this year's
applications.
school the same as last year, that you don't go to regular classes each
Yeah.
day, stuff like this? It's self-directed, self-study.
yeah.
You do what you want.
So that's the school stuff. So it's not really, it doesn't really relate to my studying. So I have to do two things at the same time. I have to get ready for my university exam, entrance exam, which is still 2 years away, so it's not too bad.
2 years away, 1 year away. You're in the final year of school now, you said.
Yes, but I'm taking gap year, and then if I'm going to take gap year,
You say university, overseas university.
and then exam season month is different than Japan, so it opens to 2 years.
So you're still on that plan, you want to go to college, university, overseas?
Yes.
Have you got the particular institution chosen yet?
What do you mean institution?
Which school? Which,
Oh yes, in about around Czech.
but not, you say around, so you haven't exactly decided which
Yeah.
place.
Could be around, so I'm not sure which one to go, but these are my.
Will it be difficult to get into such a school, or is it just a question of paying the money or something?
I think for me, entrance exam are quite hard.
I mean,
But
we hear about that here in Japan, where there's an actual specific exam everybody has to take, and the ranking determines which school you can get into. But some overseas places are you pay and go in, or some like Harvard or something might be, you know, crazy to get in. Or,
there is entrance exam for the school I want to apply or to go to, so I'm getting ready for that, and also yeah.
will that be in English or in, you say in Czechoslovakia, in Czech Republic? So will it be in Czech?
I mean, like most of the class are in English, but they will teach Czech, so that I will be able to communicate with Czech people, like fundamentally.
But the entrance examination will be in English.
English. Yes. These are two entrance exams. One of them are in, you can choose either English or Japanese, and then second one are completely in English.
And are they actively working to recruit students from Japan, that place? Do they know?
I'm like using Japanese, how do you call that? Japanese system, I guess. Like there's it's not institution. It's a place where they do.
Placement, college placements, you mean, around the world?
No, they have those. How do you call that? Like communication pay place. how do you facilitated? I think no, not facilitated. 提携ってなんて言うんですか？提携、連携とか提携。
Not sure what she's getting at here.
For
You mean the
what?
place that helps students get into colleges, you mean? I'm not quite sure what you're talking about.
In the university I want to go to and the Japan or Japanese those office, there's a particular office where you can apply to there, and then those office will apply to university.
Okay. So that
There-
university is trying to get Japanese students, is it? Okay.
So there's a that university really have
Like the joint businesses, they work together.
I think
So that you apply to one and then they pass your application to other ones.
Yes,
They're
yes,
kind of
yes.
an intermediate agency.
Yeah, agency, that's it.
Application
Yeah.
agency. So you don't have to rewrite the same application 100 times to apply.
I'd be curious though, without being negative about this, I'm curious, what would be the attraction of being in the Czech Republic? It doesn't sound like a major place. People would go to London and study, or Paris, or New York, or something.
Well, if
Why
I
the Czech
use
Republic?
that agency in Japan, I can get EU medical license as well as in Japan.
So there's a specific goal here. You want to end up with a specific license that's usable back in Japan.
As well
Gotcha.
as in,
Okay.
in the EU.
Okay.
Well, I will have to take a different exam for Japan and in the EU. So
Then,
I have to
Dejan,
take.
you've got to talk to, Evelyn, the new girl who's here. You probably haven't met her yet. There's a new girl here from Germany, and her husband is right now in Japan. He's a doctor, and he's working on getting his medical certification from Germany worked out here in Japan. And he's here at a specific medical university here. Whatever,
So he has medical certification in Japan, but not in the in
No,
Japan.
sir, his schooling was all done in Germany, and some of it is being accredited here in Japan, and some of it is not. And he's now working on finishing up the last blocks that he needs here, repeating a lot of stuff he already had over there
Yeah.
to make sure the certification works in Japan. Whatever, talk to Evelyn, because she's
Yeah.
right in the middle of all this, and they're in the middle of actively doing this right now. And he's trying to build his Japanese skills. I guess that's
Yeah.
part of it too. They need a certain level of, not Aiken, what's it called? The Japanese test,
JLPT.
whatever.
日本語検定、
はい。日本語能力。
入力試験。
Anyway, talk to them because they obviously have some real on-the-ground experience too. That's related to exactly what you're trying to do. So,
I want to ask about many things.
I think I should probably get to work. Right? There's going to be a print party starting in a few minutes.
9:26.
9:26. Okay.
What?
All right, gang. It's been a real bizarre little bit of a mixed stream this morning. So,
Do you have any show and tells?
I can do a quick one because that box we got yesterday. Well, I did a quick test proof, so I could do that.
Okay.
If you Karen, right where you are, that box there. If you slide that out.
Oh yeah, you showed.
Yeah.
I thought
I did a test proof. You can see it. It's right on the top. Just rip the plastic off there. There's a test print and one block right at the very top.
Oh yeah.
Don't pull them all out. Just
Just the proof.
and the print that's on the block that's with it.
There it is.
Bingo. What's this? Demanding a show and tell. Is that what they're doing, or you're doing, or whatever? Or?
It's my fault.
Oh, it's your fault. Your fault. Your fault.
Oh, I guess I.
Yeah.
Kicking out nature. This is one of the blocks that we got in yesterday's box. There's probably people here who don't know what happened yesterday. So whatever you. Is it visible? I don't even know what's visible. I can't see the screen, so I
Yep,
don't know.
you're right in the middle.
But all the light. It's a dark piece of wood.
Probably zoom in a little bit. Just.
It's as far as we can guess, it's a pre-war set of wood blocks. We got 8 of these sets yesterday. They're all in the box on the floor. They're over by Karen. And we opened. I couldn't resist. So even in the middle of all of yesterday's chaos with the print parties and all the other stuff going on, I think it was color separations.
Yeah.
In the middle of all that chaos, Chonsan came.
Yeah.
And he knew that we had these, so he's like, okay. So we got it up. And I went over to the print party room. I just grabbed a piece of the print party paper. This is just print party paper. And we took a proof from this. And I just slapped print party pigment on it, and bang, 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 and then with a Murasaki bara, not a delicate bara, just grung, 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 grung.
Yeah.
And oh my God, I think I'm good at this, but give me a break, And the lines are so, so delicate. This is not great art, and this is not refined carving, like the lines on these temples, sheds, and stuff like this. It's pretty slapdash, bang bang, get it done work.
Ohayou gozaimasu.
Oh, listen. But it's just, there's a little old lady walking along the street here with a cane. You know what I mean? Can you get this? I mean, I don't know if you can see this. Just these are people actually doing different things, and they're all understandable. Why bother? What? Who would see this? Who would notice this? That little old lady has a cane. I mean, give me a break.
What did I do?
It sounds like you turned it off.
Oh, I did just turn it around. I thought. Was it the record button?
You probably pressed one of the buttons up.
Sorry.
Is it still showing through?
No.
No,
It's gone.
some frames showing.
You've turned it into playback mode.
How did I do that? That's me
Simplest way. I don't know what button to press. Simplest way.
Okay. Turn it off and on. Sorry, I thought all I did was turn it around.
It's the Cameron thing at work. Here we are, coming up.
There we go.
Here we go. So you're up now.
Right.
That was the quickest way to get it back to normal. You know,
Let's see cane later.
whatever, just isn't all these people here, they're all done with sort of the same little crisscross stick leg things. I mean, these are stick people, but look at the scale we're working at. Look at my finger.
Yeah.
And somebody's here, somebody is sitting behind a little sheet, which
Selling
they've got
their
stuff,
wares.
selling stuff, you know. And this is the old Kaminarimon. So this is the street that runs in front of Kaminarimon that goes over Asakusabashi. And then behind here we have Nakamise. This is the street, the tourist street that goes up towards Sensoji Temple.
All the same shops still in business.
Yeah, the street's still in business. Well, there's an ox cart running by. And here, there's a procession. The guys have got here comes somebody important with a lantern. Guys hang, I don't believe. Here, here's the bookseller. He's got his thing on his back, his bookshelf on his back, selling books.
Huh.
And like I said, it's not refined, delicate, detailed carving, but it is just insanely small. And whether or not this block set's going to be useful, I don't know. The color blocks are pretty beaten up. They're split, they're warped. Some we saw they were burned actually. Did we see that? You know, they look like they're burned. But there we are. So those of you who want to wait for this right now, nothing's going to happen with this right now. We just don't have time to play with it. But another really interesting thing. John and I were both looking at these yesterday. The depth this is carved, it's way, way, way deeper than either of us have any idea that it should need to be carved. It goes way down. Like that's 4 or 5 millimeters down, just in a small space there. We don't need to go that far. There's no way your baron or your brush is going to fall into that space next to these.
Yeah.
And the deeper it goes, we were talking about this, the deeper it goes, the more your brush starts to bang against these edges. So this is unusual, and we're not quite sure why. We both said they're scratching. Why is it done? And it's carved by hand. There's no microscopes and stuff like that, you know. Some bits just tell you, there's a little scratch. Look at this. Well, you probably can't even see it. There's the black area here is just scratched. This is almost like Western wood engraving. There's sort of some scratch carving here. Yeah. And when you look at it in the other one, what they've done is that's the place, you know, there's a statue inside the wire netting.
Right.
And that's what they've done to imitate the gloom of the thing behind the wire netting. You know?
Wow.
Well, it's easy to do because those white lines are taken out. What's harder to do is the part that leaves the lines, of course.
Yeah.
But they've done it both ways. They're playing both ways here.
Very cool.
Anyway, there it is. So we got 8 of these sets. It'll be months before I can get them open and look at them or whatever. But at some point, it'll be a really nice David's Choice video.
Yeah.
We'll take one set. We'll really work out right through to the end, make some prints with it.
Very cool.
So there it is. And now, Cameron, can I get to work?
Yes, now you can get to work. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for joining. Schedule for tomorrow is tomorrow, and we'll be here.
Friday.
And I just started a new block. I'll be carving that tomorrow morning.
Okay.
If I survive that long. And away we go.
All right.
Thanks again, gang.
Yep. Thanks.